What is up, Gato Squad? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Elias, and if you are new here and you like car stuff, be sure to hit the button below to subscribe. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Civic Type R because it's come to my attention that I probably need to replace the rear brake pads. Now, in case you don't know, the front brake pads for the Type R are actually readily available from pretty much anywhere, and that's because the front brake pads are basically the same brake pads that have been used in Brembo brake systems forever now, for pretty much any system of that size, so you can get them from pretty much anywhere. Now, the rear brake pads are a brand new part number, so we're going to be taking a look at it, and I may even have to take it off to measure it. So in case this might be helpful to you, there is a nice convenient jack up point right there to the left of the mufflers. Before you do that, of course, if you're going to be working on the brakes, release the electronic emergency brake from the rear, and do put wheel chocks. I just have pieces of wood which work just as well. I have one and I have two. I've also put the transmission in reverse, and I've used jack stands just to be safe. Of course, we have to start with taking off the wheel. I've got my trusty impact gun. Love this thing. So easy. Taking a look at the actual disc here, it's perfectly fine, all good to go. Just got to replace these pads. Alright, so we see that the brake pads definitely need to get replaced, but in order to do a better inspection of it and actually to measure it out exactly so we can get a good replacement, I'm going to have to take it off. So let me show you how to take off the rear brake pads. Alright, so we see the caliper right there, and then back here, that's where one of the bolts lives. It is an Allen key bolt. So you take off this piece right here. You just take it off with your finger. Be sure not to break these or lose these. These are important to have to get that, make sure that bolt doesn't get any rust on it. So this is what it looks like. That's an Allen bolt. So I need an Allen key for that. Alright, so far I've used my 7mm Allen wrench to take this one basically off, loosen this one up here, and I want to take this off here now. Make sure not to lose this. I had to basically take both bolts off, and then just lift up and put it to the side. Let's take a look at these rear brake pads. And there we have it. Not much pad left. Alright, so I took the pads out. Again, as we can see, we are almost out of pad. So I need them desperately, and I'm going to measure up some dimensions here so that we can get some other options for brake pads. But yeah, these are definitely on their way out. Now remember, I did put these through about 3 hours worth of track duty time, so that's definitely one of the reasons why they're worn out. I did not defeat the traction control when I was on track because I didn't know how back then. I do know how to do it now, and this is part of what happens when you do that. The traction control uses the rear brakes a lot to kind of get the car in line, so they got worn out really quickly. If you take a look at the front ones there, they're actually okay. So why are the rear ones so faded when the front ones are okay? Like I said, I'd never defeated the traction control fully. I'll show you guys how to do that in another video, but I never defeated the traction control fully when I was at track days. I just left it on basically. I didn't know, but the stability control stayed on, and what it does is it uses the brakes to keep your car in line. Obviously when it does that, especially on the rear, it'll waste away those brake pads very quickly, and the stability control will use the rear end a lot more to kind of get the car in line if it's sliding left or right. This car loves to slide around that rear end, and that's when the stability control kicks in and uses the brake pad. So now I need to replace them as soon as possible. For now, I'm going to put my old brake pads back in. I just took them out to measure them. Like I said, make sure to put these up here, and the one with the spring on top of it, put it in the back. So since I don't have new brake pads yet, I took them off just to measure them so I can order new brake pads. I don't have to compress the piston that's back here. I did release the emergency brake before I took it apart. I told you guys that in the beginning, but in order to put everything back together, it's just the reverse of what I did. Just kind of slide this over. Now these are new pads. I'd have to compress this piston here. I'll show you guys when I get my new pads how to do that. I also have another video that did my hatchback brakes. I'll put it up below there. I'll put the link up below or above somewhere so you guys can take a look at that. And there it is, job done. Very easy to take off and on, and all you need is a 7mm Allen bolt. Take those two off, take the spring off, this comes out. To get new pads on, you'll need a compressor. I'll show you guys that when I get the new pads, hopefully soon, and then that's all she wrote. Alright guys, she's good to go. I do need those brake pads, so I'm going to send Stop Tech and Hawk those measurements to see what I can get from them, and we'll be installing them as soon as I get it. Now, thanks for watching the video as always. Remember, this week, March 28th, I will be in New York Auto Show, so I'll be uploading a ton of videos. I'll be going live, so look forward to that. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.